BJP is contained mostly in the 4 districts of Jammu region, which is Udhampur, Jammu, Samba, and Kathua. That's where most of their seats come from. So stakes were really very high because it's really indeed a case of referendum on the development that have been taking place after 2018. It's just not only August of 5, 2019, because that was just a high pitched event that took place in the parliament abrogating Article 370. But the process started way back with the fall of the last elected government in June 2018. And the regional parties and people who are sympathetic to the regional parties, they are struggling to restore the rule, the authority, and the dominance of the regional parties in Jammu and Kashmir, while BJP is making a case of acknowledging, getting a people's acknowledgement, getting a verdict for the action it has taken after 2018, particularly the events of 2019. One important thing is that, as I said, that BJP is contained to 4 districts, Jammu, Samba, and Kathua. This time, BJP has made strong efforts to make inroads into 2 definite sub-regions within the Jammu province. One is informally called as the Chenab Valley, which has 8 seats, and the Pir Panjal region, which also has 8 seats. So these 2 regions are Muslim majority region, but they have since been giving mixed results. The BJP has won seats in the past, Congress has won seats in the past, and the regional parties have also won seats in the past.
First set of numbers will start coming in, Zafar Bhai. So let me just quickly bring in Najmu Saqib as well, PDP spokesperson. For PDP, it appears to be the toughest battle since its inception, one would say, because there was this alliance on the other side. India bloc was together with the Congress and the NCP, and the CPIM also having an understanding. On the other hand, you had the BJP. Where did PDP get lost in this elections?
Well, Maria, you're certainly right. It was a battle for survival for as far as PDP is concerned. I mean, let me remind your viewers, post 2019, there was one assault on people of Kashmir, but there was another assault that was happening, especially on People's Democratic Party. You remember 40 plus of our leaders were coerced to leave the party. They were either pressured or coerced or sort of, lured away to leave the political party. And it was a very, very tough time for us as a political party to find our feet again. Our party president, Mehbooba Mufti, did, a lot of heavy lifting. And hopefully what we see right now is People's Democratic Party finding its feet again. I mean, we are certainly certain of our presence. I mean, there were a lot of people who had written our epitaph that, PDP is done and dusted. But what we have shown in this election especially is that our presence in every constituency wherever we fought, whether that was in North Kashmir, whether that was in Central Kashmir, or Pir Panjal, or South Kashmir, which is our bastion. So we are very hopeful that we will give a very tough fight, and we will play a very important role. Because, look, Mari, you were earlier discussing about, election numbers, the percentage. Look, there were a couple of reasons for it. One, government before elections introduced an order, which curtailed the powers of the chief minister. One. Second, it was a harvesting season, horticulture season, especially in our South Kashmir. 70% of our population, 70% of our population is involved in horticulture. So a lot of our people were busy with that particular, and that was a very, very significant factor for less poll percentage as compared to 2014. The poll percentage in South Kashmir was lesser as compared to 2014, was lesser as compared to parliament elections. So there were a couple of reasons, because government itself tried to dissuade people from, voting in large numbers.
And these are the numbers coming in from People's Pulse. They have put the projections for both Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir. These are the numbers that they're giving for Jammu and Kashmir. Congress, NC, all set to form the government as per People's Pulse. BJP at 23 to 27, PDP 7 to 11, others 4 to 6, because this time around there were a record number of independents that were fielded, multiple parties from Apni party to you had several others actually in the fray. Let's look at the People's Pulse numbers for Haryana now as well. An important battle, 90 seats that went to polls today. People's Pulse is saying that Congress is all set to form the government. It is crossing the halfway mark of 46. So they are giving a range of 49 to 61 to the Congress party, BJP 20 to 36, Aam Aadmi Party 0 and others 3 to 5, which means is it really an end of road for INLD and JJP, because their projection for INLD, in fact, they are breaking that others also between JJP and INLD, saying INLD could get between 0 to 1 and INLD 2 to 3 and JJP 0 to 1. Yes, Professor.
Maria, this is the first exit poll coming.
Yes.
So I would look more at the trend rather than the actual
Absolutely.
numbers.
Yes.
The trend seems to suggest that there is a tough race in Jammu and Kashmir, whereas in Haryana, it seems to be that the Congress is pulling forward. And this is what has been said over the last several days, and also what the reporters have been saying in the ground. So rather than looking at the actual numbers,
It's about the
I think it
direction.
indicates the trend that maybe
Yes.
what we would see on the air.
Yes, so directionally it's about Congress and the range is pretty convincing range of 49 to 61 here, Akshat.
So I agree with Sandeep sir. Numbers are directional, but it is giving a clear-cut trend that Congress could form like government on its own in Haryana.
It is the first one, People's Pulse.
It's a first
it's
one,
a long
by the way.
way to go.
I agree to
very,
it. However, in Jammu and Kashmir, we should also look at the other pollsters, because there might be some other players who might get. So there is a constituency called Baramulla Lok Sabha, from which engineer Rashid sir won, and there are PDP has lost some support in that Lok Sabha, which has given rise to the number of others, and the loss in the PDP's vote share hasn't translated into the NC's or the Congress vote shares. Right. So we should also look at some of the others, or maybe some of the other pollsters. Maybe they are able to
Najmul
crack.
Saqib, how are you looking at the PDP numbers that's coming in from the People's Pulse?
Well, obviously, it's too early to comment on that, but Sanjay sir was right that these are the trends that we're looking at. But I'm very sure that our performance will be better than this. But Maria, we have to look at it in the background that there was a significant assault on our party. You know, as I mentioned earlier, 40 plus of our leaders were coerced or lured to leave the political parties. 3 political parties were carved out of just one PDP. So it was a very, very tough time for us. And I'm and every one of our workers and party leaders is very happy with our. To remember that post 2019, there was a significant sort of.
Najmul Saqib, the other reading could be that unlike National Conference, your background or history actually came to haunt you. Because, you know, people said that if they are looking for an alternative and more trustworthy alternative to the BJP, then they would look at this alliance of the Congress and the NC. Rather than PDP, because you have formed the government in the past with them.
I would disagree, Maria. Look, this election was very hyper-local. This was fought on issues which were very local. Candidates played a very important role in it, and sort of what parties communicated again played some kind of role. But what was largely seen was this election was
because we have another set of numbers. In fact, Dhruv research for Haryana. Again, very early days, but similar to People's Pulse, they've given 22 to 32 seats to the BJP in Haryana, 50 to 64 to the Congress. So they are giving a decisive lead to the Congress there. I think it would be interesting to get Radhika Khera's response on both the pollsters and what they have to say for Haryana. So certainly down from the 40 in 2019 is what the trend seems to be in Haryana. Radhika.
Like I said initially, that I don't think that the exit polls have been getting it right up till now. Let's look at the Lok Sabha results. Although all polls were predicting that the Bharatiya Janata Party is going to touch 400. So, we're going to touch 300, but that didn't happen. Or like I said in this, let's go by the state elections. We saw what the channels and all polls were predicting for Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. Those were Congress strongholds, and they had better numbers and a better performance of the Congress than the Congress in Jammu Kashmir and Haryana. But what was the end result? The ground result was very, very different. And again, I am telling you, the actual results are going to surprise you.
Akshat Goel, the numbers.
Yes.
You are actually saying INLD 0.
Yeah.
And you're also saying that JJP is end of road for both these regional parties.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the numbers, where are these numbers largely coming from the Congress?
So basically, it has been a Jatland consolidation for Congress. It has been an end of road for INLD and JJP. Earlier, both these parties used to get a lot of Jat votes till 2019 elections, but because Dushyant Chaudhary aligned with BJP post the for the government formation, and he was not with the Jat leader for the farmer protest or for the wrestler protest. So the Jats have consolidated against both these parties, and they have aligned with Congress this time. So Congress is going to gain a lot in the Jatland first of all. And secondly, Congress is also gaining some seats in the BJP stronghold of the Ambala, Kurukshetra and Faridabad, Palwal area. So it is a across state gain for Congress.
And the BJP numbers, if they are going down, it is going down from which regions? Is it about some pockets or is it across the state?
So it is mostly across the states, ma'am. But you also have to see that last year, the last time 2019 elections, BJP also won a few seats because JJP cut some of the votes of the Congress party, the Jat votes, and as a result of which BJP won some of the seats in the Jat area. However, BJP is likely to lose more number of seats which it won in the Jat. So again, by like Jatland, I mean Sonipat area, Sonipat, Panipat, Rohtak, Sirsa, Hisar.
Yes.
I think the South Haryana is the region where the BJP could be doing better than the performance in the other parts of the state. By the southern part of the state, which includes areas like Gurgaon, Rewari, those are the areas where they could be doing well. The traditional strongholds of the BJP is where they could be doing better.
Sajjan Kumar?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but only thing is that in southern part, they may be doing less worse than other regions because of the demographic regions. You know, southern Rewari region and Gurgaon region, wherein the Jat population is less, and there is a generic kind of concern that the Jat return to
Are we not talking enough about the Dalit voters? You know, this is the same
Dalit
constituency which moved away from the BJP in Maharashtra, in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and led to that decline of the party in these two states.
We have Dainik Bhaskar also, in fact, now.
Dainik Bhaskar numbers as well. Please go ahead with that.
So, Dainik Bhaskar is giving 15 to 29 to the BJP in Haryana, 44 to 54 to the Congress, again 0 to 1 to the JJP, 1 to 5 to the INLD, and 0 to 1 to the Aam Aadmi Party. So, the trend seems to be 40 to 52 for the Congress as far as, you know, the exit polls so far are concerned. But again, all the health warnings there. These are very early days still. But yes, Sajjan Kumar, go ahead.
Yeah, precisely. As far as the Dalit voters are concerned in Haryana, we must remember that the Jatav and Chamar voters, in a way, hijacked the entire Dalit nomenclature. So there are Valmiki voters, there are Dhanuk voters and others who have their kind of split. So all the Dalit discourse, Azad Samaj Party, BSP, Kumari Shailaja, they all represent one caste arithmetic within the Dalit. So that is why one of the challenge of BJP would be to kind of have a significant section of the non-Jatav, non-Ravidas voters, because mind it is among these voters wherein you see the fear of the dominant, because they are not that assertive of the Jat dominance is there. This is one. The Jatav Chawar voters always have been, they never have been a core constituency of the BJP tactically or ideologically. So therefore, I think in Haryana, 20% of the Dalit, they count, but we are giving too much emphasis on the Dalit voter. Why? Because parties like BSP, Azad Samaj Party, etc., they have entered the foray. But mind it, they are not the players who will have a significant, maybe bordering Saharanpur, Yamunanagar, etc., they will have some impact.
So,
but
Sajjan,
otherwise,
will it be fair to say then that these, because if we were to look at how these various caste groupings voted in 2024 Lok Sabha polls, is it going in the same direction, Lok Sabha, when it is translating into assembly? The number of
directionally, yes. Directionally in Haryana, yes. You see, in terms of the agenda and their social base, so you have this, what you call Jhabki. The social base is the 1/4 of the electorate, that is the Jat. So they already have made a decisive thing. Then you see the crisis among the OBCs and also among the Dalits. So that way we find the direction is same. What we find at this time, at least in Lok Sabha election, BJP has the face of the Modi. In assembly election, what we are finding that it is completely localized, and therefore the BJP
Modi factor actually swings almost like 6 to 7% or perhaps more, Professor Shastri, in a number of states. We have seen that play out in, you know, Bihar, UP, Haryana election.
In the 2024 polls, we found that 1 out of every 4 BJP votes came because of the Prime Minister.
Modi, yes.
And I would have reason to believe that a lot of the BJP support in Haryana is linked to the support for the Prime Minister. But there was an important point made by Sajjanji which I'd like to take forward. The Congress vote among the Dalits is linked to certain segments among the scheduled caste community. It's not among all the groups. And that is something which the Congress has not been able to capitalize upon, to be able to spread its vote across different scheduled caste sections. The weakening of the BSP and the reduced role of the BSP in Haryana, it would be interesting to see which party gets the support of those groups which have traditionally supported the BSP in Haryana. So that's another factor when we are talking of the Dalit vote.
Okay. Vedant, we have another set of numbers.
Dainik Bhaskar for Jammu and Kashmir as well. And Sandeep ji, a word on that, because Dainik Bhaskar gives 20 to 25 to the BJP, 35 to 40 to the Congress plus NC, and 4 to 7 to the PDP. So do you see the Congress NC also perhaps gaining in Jammu?
You know, if these numbers were to hold, it's clear that the BJP is not getting the type of sweep they were looking for in Jammu, if these numbers were to hold.
Yeah.
Because the BJP was hoping to do much better in the Jammu region, whereas in the valley, yes, there was a challenge for the BJP. And the NCP Congress alliance, if those numbers again are to be true, is doing well not only in the valley but is also picking up seats in the Jammu.
In Jammu as well. In fact, Zafar Saab, come in on this. How do you see the numbers for Jammu and Kashmir? So 35 to 45, you know, that's the range that most of the, at least, you know, the pollsters so far are giving to NC plus Congress, and 20 to 30 to the BJP.
So I have one exit poll on my mind also, and I think the two, if they are looked together, appear closer to what we hear here, that National Conference and Congress could be the largest alliance, but maybe slightly, you know, below the halfway mark in the Legislative Assembly. And the Bharatiya Janata Party, which had bagged 25 seats in 2014 and had lead on 29 seats in the, you know, Lok Sabha elections earlier this year, is believed to be around 25, 26 seats. I mean, these polls both appear a lot closer to the reality on 2 to 3 aspects. But then it has again to be seen that 6 more seats have been increased in the Jammu region, particularly covering the area where BJP has its core vote bank. So BJP has not performed very well. It appears that Congress has made inroads into the BJP's bastion, but Congress did not do a high-profile campaign in Jammu region. Probably that was a strategic, you know, policy of Congress to make BJP a little complacent about its confidence of winning the election. So National Conference, it looks like, is staging probably the best possible performance since 1996. In 2014, the National Conference had bagged only 15 seats. And this time, the party appears to be going way beyond 30 seats, up to 35 seats. And I think the two polls a lot closer to the reality as what we get from the ground. Yes.
Okay. We are going to shift back to Haryana now, because this is Republic Bharat Matri's numbers which have come in. And they are saying that it's Congress all the way, with 55 to 62 is the projection that is coming in from Republic Bharat Matri's. For the BJP, they're giving 18 to 24, INLD 3 to 6. So it's consolidating directionally in favor of the Congress party, Professor Shastri. But this is the range which is only going up on the other side.
One thing is clear in all the exit polls, they are projecting a clear majority for the Congress. If you look at the midpoint of all the polls, it's much beyond the majority mark. Though, of course, they vary in their intensity in terms of the projection of the Congress seat. So that's very clear in the 4 projections that we have for Haryana, that the Congress is above the halfway mark as per these projections. And if these projections were to be right, you would very well be having a Congress government in Haryana.
So, what will you say on that, Radhika?
First of all, I'd like to bring up something which has been said on this show, Maria. Mr. Sajan Kumar here, the political analyst, has used the word chamar twice, and it is derogatory and it is punishable by law. And I hope you people would have noticed it, and I was waiting for someone to come and ask him to control his tongue. Mr. Sajan Kumar, you have committed a criminal offense. Do you not know, after being a political analyst, that this is not a term that can be used?
No. See,
it is
in
banned and it is
academic
legally
and
punishable.
analytical
No, please don't
parlance,
argue and
it
take back
depends
your
upon
words. You
the
should apologize to
intensity.
the country.
So you should also take
You cannot
cognizance
use
of
that
the
term.
context. It is
You
very
cannot
much
use
valid.
that
There are
term. If
books.
you are
It
still
is used
arguing
in
with
entire
me
UP.
on
It is
this,
used
you
as
have zero
Jatav,
knowledge of
oblique
law.
chamar.
If
It is not derogatory.
again he's
Derogatory
using this.
is
I'm sorry,
depending
Maria,
upon the
this is not
intensity and the
acceptable.
context. So you should know
This
the
is not
context. This
acceptable,
is a very
Maria.
standard
I'm
academic and
sorry, this
journalistic
is not
Radhika, you're making a fair
acceptable.
point there.
This
Your
is
point is
clearly
taken.
not
Go ahead,
acceptable.
Radhika. Yeah.
And the channel should condemn his words. Now, coming back to the polls, there were lots of exit polls that had predicted that the Bharatiya Janata Party is going to lose Haryana in the previous elections also. The Congress was going to form the government then as well. What happened? They didn't form the government. The Bharatiya Janata Party went ahead and formed the government for the second time in a row. And I will keep repeating this till the day of the results, that the Chhattisgarh exit polls, the Madhya Pradesh exit polls were far, far more in favor of the Congress than what we are seeing here in Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir. Everybody knows in Jammu and Kashmir that there has been a resonating message across the valley, a message of transformation, a message of development and rejection of fear. People who were saying that no one would raise the tricolor after Article 370 was removed, well, they should go and walk in Lal Chowk, and the Shehzada of the Congress party enjoys an ice cream on and off whenever he visits Srinagar at the Lal Chowk. He goes for skiing with his family. Those are the changes, and those are the changes that the people of Jammu Kashmir have voted for.
Okay.
And yes, like someone was talking about Congress not campaigning in Jammu. Well, the Shehzada was busy in England. He was probably conspiring against the country.
But keeping the focus
he was busy on his
Haryana,
holiday over
the
there.
last word to you quickly, Akshat Goel, on looking at the larger trends here, what seems to be working for the Congress? As somebody who has researched for the exit polls, a couple of factors, of course, 10-year incumbency, plus of course the caste arithmetic. Largely, what seems to be working for the Congress?
Definitely, there is some anger against the BJP-led government. It has been a 10-year government. So there are like various factors: unemployment, price right, and however, these factors are not only specific or unique case for this state, Haryana. It is a case for the entire country. But in order to deep dive the major factors which have taken a role in this state election, you have to understand the caste dynamics of Haryana. So 1996 was the last time when a non-Jat CM, Bhajan Shnoy ji, was the non-Jat CM in 1996, and since then the state has been like ruled by Chautalas and Hudas for 10 years, Chautalas, and for 10 years Huda. So now again, I am again coming to the same point about the caste, but this has played the important role that Jats uniting against BJP, and they want their own CM.
Okay, so what is becoming clear here is, as per the exit polls, these are early numbers, and it's Dhruv Research here, Dainik Bhaskar, People's Pulse, and Republic Bharat Matriz, which have declared their numbers. There are many others like Seawater, Axis, and others which we'll have to wait and wait for, because those numbers will start trickling in. But what is becoming clear is that Haryana, it's the Congress all the way. They are well above the halfway mark of 46, could go up to 55 to 60. That is directionally how the exit polls are suggesting. And again, in Jammu and Kashmir, again, the Congress-NC coalition could be comfortable to form the next government. But that's as per the exit polls. We'll have to wait and see more numbers to come in. Yes.
I think two big words we must use is if and but for
Yes,
everything
yes.
that we
Like
say.
always, we do that. Professor Shastri, thank you so much. So, Vedant?
Yes, a lot of health warnings there, and we are in the thick of things on numbers trickling in, but we'll have to take a short break now. This remains our top focus on it.
I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. All I want is a touch of love.
Tap it here and swipe it there. Pound rewards, me everywhere.
Download any single ID partner app, link your card and earn reward with top brand.
Get it free with single ID.
कलर भी मेरा ही फेवरेट मिला.
Dulux Velvet Touch with True Color technology feels like home.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
I don't ever know songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. I'm too busy, baby, making plans on how to get me one of them manly men. All I want is a touch of love.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water.
Hello everyone, you're watching our big poll of poll coverage here on NDTV. I'm Maria Shakil. My colleague Vedant is right there with all the numbers. Of course, that is the projection that is coming in. Let's put a big caveat now, Vedant. There are a number of pollsters who are yet to release their numbers, but Dainik Bhaskar, Dhruv Research, People's Pulse, Republic, Bharat Matriz are all giving Haryana to the Congress party. Dainik Bhaskar, People's Pulse, these are the two agencies which have released numbers for Jammu and Kashmir. They are giving Jammu and Kashmir convincingly to the Congress-NC alliance. Vedant, a quick wrap of how the pollsters are suggesting. What are they saying?
Absolutely, Mario. So let's look at the big numbers, starting with Dainik Bhaskar. Of course, if you look at all the pollsters so far, they have given a 40 to 52 range, most of them to the Congress, a decisive lead there, way beyond the majority mark to the Congress. For the BJP, 15 to 29 is what Dainik Bhaskar says. Dhruv Research says 22 to 32. And this pollster is also giving the maximum number of seats to the Congress, 50 to 64. As far as People's Pulse is concerned, a similar range there, 20 to 32 for the BJP, 49 to 61 for the Congress, and Republic Bharat is giving 80 to 24. The lowest number of seats perhaps in the pollsters so far to the BJP, and 55 to 62 to the Congress. Of course, as we're discussing the regional players, is it end of road for INLD and JJP? Well, for the JJP, going it alone this time, not an alliance with the BJP, it's mostly zero in 3 of the 4 pollsters. So the JJP is not opening its account according to 3 of the pollsters. For the INLD plus, Republic Bharat is giving 3 to 6 as far as Haryana is concerned. So only pollsters giving some number of seats there to INLD. But let's take a look at that graphic as to how pollsters in the past have gotten it wrong.
Actually, Vedant, you know, because we always put this caveat, these are exit polls, not the actual results. The results will be on October 8th. So we'll be waiting for that. But these are the numbers which show the direction of how the people in these states have voted. But yes, the pollsters have got it wrong several times.
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, if we can have that graphic up now on how the pollsters in the past also have gotten it wrong. In fact, if you look at Haryana in 2019, what the poll of polls seem to have suggested was that the Congress is getting 15 seats and the BJP 65, but it was a much tighter contest, both in terms of seats and vote shares. The actual result was 40 for the BJP, 31 for the Congress. And if you look at the 2024 Lok Sabha polls as well, some of the pollsters for Haryana had suggested a much closer contest, though it wasn't as far as the BJP and the Congress is concerned. So of course, Maria, as you were saying, a lot of health warnings there. Pollsters have gotten it wrong. Of course, a more recent example is what happened in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, where even the pollsters couldn't predict the extent of the BJP majority as far as those 2 states were concerned.
Okay, I'm going to go straight to Srinagar. And Akhilesh ji, my colleague, is joining me here in the studio. We have Neerja Chaudhary as well. Akhilesh ji, a quick word first on the numbers that we are seeing with regards to Haryana. BJP would be worried?
Of course, it will be worried because it is there in power for the past 10 years now. And BJP was facing anti-incumbency, there's no doubt about it. Because we have seen that how the way the central leadership of the BJP responded as far as the campaign in Haryana is concerned. Because Prime Minister Narendra Modi had only 4 rallies in Haryana. If you include Amit Shah's rallies also, then total 14 rallies were done by them. There was no road show by either of them. It also shows that how BJP was very careful not to have the central leadership projected as a face in the assembly leadership, because they knew somewhere that something was missing. Because the indication was there in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections where the BJP lost 5 seats. So BJP was, of course, aware that it could face major anti-incumbency there. And of course, the exit polls are suggesting that.
So exit polls suggesting what was being seen, Neerja Chaudhary, by reporters on ground. Whoever went in both these, one union territory and the other state, they saw this happening. It's also a reflection or carrying forward, many would say, of how the Lok Sabha results in these states have been.
That's right. It is in line with that. Yes, number one. Number two, you're right. The reporters who went there, it was not only the political parties privately telling you, whether it was the BJP telling you privately, or the regional parties telling you privately, or the Congress telling you privately, or that this was the way the wind was blowing. But also, I believe the BJP had done its internal surveys, and they too indicated numbers of this kind. So all 3, yes, it seems this time the exit polls seem to be on the right track, at least indicating which way the wind is blowing.
So we'll wait for 8 still to see whether how have the reporters, various analysts like you, Neerja, and also the pollsters have fared. Going straight to Srinagar, where Nazir, my colleague, is joining us live. Nazir, you have a special guest. Over to you, Nazir. How are these numbers being looked at by the Member of Parliament there with you?
Well, Maria, thank you very much. And these are just, as we know, exit polls, not the actual results. And we'll wait for the 8th. But clearly, it creates a lot of interest when there are exit polls. And people have been speculating in Jammu and Kashmir since the elections were over, but we had to wait here for several days because of the Haryana polls today. And I'm joined by Aga Ruhullah, National Conference leader and MP from Srinagar. You may have heard some indications. All the exit polls have not come out so far, but those who are coming are indicating National Conference Congress is ahead. But clearly not everybody is saying it's absolute majority.
Well, it's a good sign, and I think it's in line with what I felt on ground, because I campaigned through the length and breadth of the valley. But it's exit poll after all. We would wait for the actual poll actual results to come out. But at the moment, I would want to say this much, that it is a sign which is in line with what I felt on ground, the sentiment that was visible, that the connect that the people had with the narrative of National Conference and with the party of National Conference, the understanding of National Conference to connect with the people on the sentimental level and on the realistic level as well, made an atmosphere where one could safely say that National Conference has a clear advantage, and that's reflecting in the exit polls.
Okay. Since 2002 Assembly elections, no party actually in Jammu and Kashmir has got more than 28 seats. In 2002 Assembly election, NC was the single largest party with 28 seats. PDP was 16 seats, but they formed the government that time with the Congress. In 2008, National Conference won 28 seats and formed the government with Congress. And 2014, it was PDP which won 28 seats and BJP got 25 seats. And it's expected that this time, that since 1996 election, National Conference may win, if exit polls are any indication, or the ground realities, may win highest number of seats. Ruhullah Sahab, are you surpassing your own expectations, or you are expecting that you could do better?
I would be surprised if we do not do better than 2002, and I would be surprised if National Conference falls short of what we expect to be a better result than, as you indicated, than the elections of 2002. And at this moment, it would be surprising also because this election was fought on the grounds which National Conference should and must have, and I think have commanded on the ground in terms of narrative, in terms of political language, in terms of actual expression of what needs to be expressed, and in terms of electorally creating that space for that dissent and that narrative that the people of Jammu and Kashmir felt for a long time was not allowed. Last two elections, including the parliament election that I contested, gave us an opportunity, one, to connect with the people, and then give a language to that sentiment which people wanted to express, the dissent that they wanted to express, both narrative-wise and in its roots. National Conference is the closest to the sentiment, to the actual, the atmosphere, the political atmosphere that we have. So, National Conference should command the results in these elections.
Ruhullah Sahab, in these elections, 40% candidates were independents, and there was allegations from your party and other regional parties that it is an attempt to fragment the mandate votes. But that doesn't appear to be happening actually if we see the exit polls and the signs on the ground we saw.
If these exit polls do stand, then we should be very thankful to the people of Jammu and Kashmir that they understood that
Nazir,
the forces...
please just ask Ruhullah to just hold on to his thoughts, because we are going to go straight to Rohtak, where Bhupinder Hooda is joining us on this special broadcast, and he is with Tanushka. Tanushka, over to you, and we'll be also asking some questions. But first, tell Mr. Hooda that the pollsters are suggesting that he is going to be the king of Haryana very soon.
Will he be? But that's the question for the Congress party.
So I have right here with me former Chief Minister Bhupinder Singh Hooda. Sir, the exit polls are suggesting at this point that the seat share that Congress would be getting is of 55 to 62. What do you have to say to that?
This is what I am telling you, exit poll are telling now. But in the morning you asked me the question, I told you that Congress is going to form government with comfortable majority, and it will form the government.
So the whole day that you roamed around today, went to these poll booths, what did you feel? How do you look back at today, the final day?
The response which we are getting from everywhere I got the report, there's wave in favor of Congress.
And how are you, like looking forward to this now? Like the seat share at this point and the, chief ministerial phase?
Sheet sharing? Sheet sharing. There's only one alliance partner.
Tanushka, just tell Mr. Huda
Maybe,
that it's Ankit
I
and me in the studio, and we have certain questions for him as well.
60 plus something.
For 10 years.
1, 2 minus, that's all. But comfortable majority.
For 10 years, it was
Right,
the
yes,
BJP
Maria. Please
government
continue.
in the
I'm not
state,
done yet.
And now it
I'm
is
not
the
done yet.
Congress which is coming to power. As per these exit polls, is he hopeful for a bigger number? Because the range that is being suggested by the pollsters is from 46 to even 60.
Are you hopeful for a bigger number? Because it's been 10 years since the Congress has not, been in power here and BJP has been in 2 consecutive terms. Are you hopeful for a bigger number?
Yes. Because BJP has proved to be non-performing government and most corrupt government. This government, BJP and JGP government. And the law and order situation is worse. Even our sports person, Pahalwan, wrestlers, they have been not been spared.
Right.
So this is the question.
Huda Saab, there is a list going on in social media. A lot of your Congress supporters are talking about they have already formed the cabinet and your day of swearing. So is Mr. Huda ready for his day of swearing, or is there still suspense even if the Congress party wins, sir?
Are you ready for, the swearing in? A lot of, social media chat has been going on about the cabinet that will be formed. So are you ready for the swearing in? What can one look forward to for the swearing in?
On 8th, result would be coming, MLAs would be elected, their opinion will be taken, then High Command will decide who will head the government. Then this is hypothetical questions you are asking me.
Okay. Tanushka, there is a question that is coming in from Neerja ma'am.
Okay.
Neerja ma'am se boli ek sawal पूछना चाह रही हैं.
Yes,
Huda
yes,
साहब.
one last question.
Mr. Huda, it seems pretty well clear now that the Congress is going to form the government. Kumari Shelja has also thrown her hat in the ring for chief ministership. What is your response to that?
So, sir, Kumari Shelja has also, thrown her hat into the ring for the chief ministerial phase. What is your response to that?
This is democracy. Everybody has got right to win, and everybody should aspire. Otherwise, you can also aspire. Who says no to you? But MLAs would decide, High Command would decide. Okay?
Thank you so much. That was Bhupinder Singh Hooda speaking exclusively to NDTV. Back to studio.
You know what I like?
That was phenomenal.
What I like about what Mr. Huda said today, and remember when 2024 exit polls came and most exit polls were giving a bigger number to the BJP, all Congress leaders were saying this is all hypothetical, things will change. Today he's saying only the question of chief ministership is hypothetical, otherwise he's accepted the exit polls and he's coming into power in Haryana.
I'll ask you about that question, Akhilesh. The Huda factor in Haryana politics. Mr. Khattar tried to make it about, or the absence of Zameen ka neta for the BJP. Do you think that is the big crisis for the BJP in Haryana?
That was the major crisis. That's why BJP had to change the chief minister. Manohar Khattar was called to Delhi. This was precisely the reason, because BJP knew it very well that the Jat factor is playing on the ground. And Mr. Huda played it very carefully, very cleverly, because when the ticket distribution came, he was dominating the entire Congress list. He got, in fact, 72 of his supporters as the candidate of the Congress party. And that was the confidence which was Mr. Huda showing as far as the Congress ticket and strategy was concerned in Haryana. And that is the reason why BJP is also on the defensive. Because in the past 10 years, we have seen that how the BJP was downplaying the Jat factor in Haryana and was hoping that the non-Jat will be consolidating in its favor. But it did not seem to be happening this time, because anti-incumbency, it seems, has prevailed.
Okay, Nazir Basoodi is with, it continues to be with us. Nazir, thank you for holding on, and thank you for all the patience for your guest as well. You can please continue with the conversation, and then I bring in other guests.
Well, I should thank Aga Ruhullah Sahab for his patience waiting here till the time we could interview Mr. Huda. Aga Sahab, we were talking about, this is a first time when it is expected that National Congress or any party would cross 30 seats. And I was saying, were you Is it surpassing your own expectations, and also the attempts which were alleging over fragmentation that have not succeeded?
I answered the first part. I was answering the second part, and I said we should be thankful to the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and Kashmir in particular. They, defeated the designs of BJP. BJP had a clear design and a plan to divide votes in Kashmir so that they could take advantage, and with that advantage, they would repeat 2014 in order to form the government. If the people have understood the designs, the ill designs of BJP, because BJP had multiple allies and proxies, those who BJP wanted to inflict that divide electorally in Kashmir. But people have understood the designs and the approach of BJP. And as I said, if this stands, then we should be thankful to the wisdom of people of Kashmir in particular.
So you would talk about BJP's mechanism, but over the last few days there were a lot of grapevine, or if there could be a NC-BJP alliance, post-poll alliance, and National Conference had to issue a statement, no, these are just rumors and they rubbish those rumors. Is there any possibility?
That is kind of a disgrace in defeat. They don't take defeat gracefully, and we have said it multiple times. I have said it during the campaigning, and I stand by those words. National Conference, in no terms, categorically, I'm going to repeat this. National Conference is not going to ally with BJP. National Conference will reject any idea of allying with BJP for government or otherwise. We do not see ourselves being in alliance with BJP. So the people of Jammu and Kashmir should believe us, and will not break that trust, and they should take this word. Will not break that trust that they have shown, expectedly shown in us, will not, betray the people of
Thank
Kashmir.
you so much. So, Aga Ruhullah clearly saying no question of any alliance with the BJP. They will go this India alliance, and they are expecting that they can form the government, and that is the indication this exit poll is showing. But one important thing is, it appears Congress may not have been done well as it was expected, and the strike rate of NC as far as these exit polls are concerned appears to be very, very high. As on the other side, Congress is not so much encouraging as far as
also
the number of
the
seats
Congress,
they have contested.
Nazir, was supposed to pull its weight, especially in the Jammu region, where the Congress party has not been able to do, at least come as the principal challenger to the BJP in the Jammu region, where the Congress has not been able to strike as much. But thank you for that conversation. Let me very quickly introduce our guests. A lot of them have been waiting very, very patiently. Kartikeya Batra, Dr. Kartikeya Batra is a political researcher. I saw, Kartikeya, a lot of your posts roaming around Haryana. We'll come to that in a bit. Hemant Atri, senior journalist, specialist in Haryana, is also with us. We also have Mr. Mohit Ban, PDP spokesperson. Siddharth Yadav, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, is also joining us. Dr. Sunny Singh Ahluwalia, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, with us as well. But just 2 more minutes of your indulgence. Let me very quickly go across at this moment to Mr. Zoeb Mir. He's PDP candidate from the Lal Chowk constituency in Srinagar. In fact, sir, thank you so much for speaking to us. I just want your first reaction on these numbers. At this moment, it seems 10 years, a lot has changed in Kashmir. PDP, which was the party number 1 last time when the assembly elections took place, at this moment is looking at a single digit. The battle for survival or the battle for relevance for PDP continues, sir, at least if these numbers hold true on October 8th.
Thank you so much. There are 2 fundamental things that I want to say. One is that any government that will be so formulated, PDP will be indispensable for formulating that government if a secular government is formulated. Number 2, I am not, but however, we are quite skeptical about the functioning of the government so formulated, because the stage is set in such a manner by the BJP. If a secular government is formulated, then the chief minister will always go with the begging bowl to the LG, and LG will do the same thing what has been done in Delhi. Something like the Delhi style of government will be formulated here. So if at all BJP will not get his way in formulating the government, and a secular government is formulated, to which I believe that PDP is going to be a quite indispensable part, so that government will not function for a very long time. And however,
because, you know,
as
what
far as those
happens to the
numbers,
statehood when it comes there, what powers, because at this moment, these are the rules of the game that every political party went into this election with. May I then ask you, like you said, that you will, if there is a need, you will support a secular government. Does that mean that the PDP is not going to repeat the mistake it made in the last election of 2014? You are open to supporting NC Congress alliance if there is a need?
of course, if a secular government is formulated, PDP is going to support, and rather, I believe that it's going to be indispensable to any secular government so formulated. However, as I said, the caveat is that I don't see a very great functioning of the government so formulated because the stage is set in such a manner. The LG has unbridled powers. Even the chief secretary has unbridled powers. He can always dismiss the voice of the people and the development thing.
Because we have the third set of numbers come in for Jammu and Kashmir. This is India Today See Voter, which is suggesting that Congress NC is in the range of 40 to 48. The PDP could be between 6 to 12. And the BJP is between 27 to 32. So unlike Dainik Bhaskar, which has given not even a double digit for you all, India Today See Voter is suggesting that you could get a double digit. And of course, you know, I met you in Srinagar. There was a lot of enthusiasm around your campaign, Zuhaib. One thing is clear, there was, you know, the aspiration of young Jammu and Kashmiri, young people from Valley was at play in this election. And you at 32, 33 are perhaps epitomizing that aspiration.
Yes, in fact, as we discussed that time also, like 70% of the population is below the age of 35, and precisely why they should get their representatives in that age group as well. However, the fundamental issue that we have here is that, of course, youngsters are quite aspirational, but youngsters have been denied democracy for a very long time. A country like India, which says that democracy is the best solution for any civilization to work forward and move forward, that is something that was denied for a very long time here, and that is something that this trust deficit that has been created is now the responsibility of the government so formulated, and even Delhi, that this trust deficit has to be bridged, because multiple times this trust with the youngsters of Jammu and Kashmir have been breached.
So thank you so much. Fascinating to talk to you. I'm sure there will be much more to discuss the day of the results. Thank you and all the best, because you will also be, in fact, in the contention when the results start coming in on your constituency. But let me very quickly go across to Kartikeya Batra. Dr. Kartikeya Batra, let me start by asking you, when we're just staying with the numbers of Jammu and Kashmir at this moment, the latest numbers, as Maria was suggesting, the India Today See Voter poll which has come in, very interesting. Two things it tells you. A, it tells you that there is a very different election that was played in Jammu, and that is a very different election that played out in the valley as expected. The Congress and the NC alliance 40 to 48. If this alliance stays at its lower limit, then more important significant number is of the others. The 6 to 11 others that we are talking about will play a very, very important role in who forms the government in Jammu and Kashmir.
Ankit, is that the more important number, or is the PDP's number the more important number then?
Both are together. Both are together.
No, I think given that PDP was a part of the Gupkar alliance, was a part of the India alliance, their affinity towards joining an India alliance government headed by the NC might be stronger. So I think if it's at the lower end, 40, my sense has always been, I don't think PDP will have too much of a problem in joining hands with the Congress with NC, which is why the BJP's best bet was that whatever the PDP is garnering should have gone to the others, because it is easier to manage the others probably vis-a-vis the PDP. So I think that if it's at the lower end, 40, then I think PDP is the first option. And then amongst the others, not everybody is married to the idea of, not being with the Congress presence.
Is there
The
where
other thing is,
the BJP would sense an opportunity? Because like Karthik is saying, the importance then becomes of what numbers does the PDP get? And like I asked the PDP candidate there as well, it's not that PDP has been averse doing business with the Bharatiya Janata Party. These others, many of them many would say could go with the Bharatiya Janata Party. So is there still, with these numbers, an outside chance for the BJP to try and spring a surprise in Jammu and Kashmir?
Some number calculation.
The BJP could become a factor if it emerges as the single largest party. Insiders in the BJP say if we emerge as a single largest party, we will definitely form the government. That's the word. Those are the words they use. But if they don't, then they realize it's going to be unlikely because the independence of the PDP in the given situation, PDP has lost a lot of ground because of its association with the BJP.
That's true.
And that is the mood in the valley. So I think, and Mehbooba Mufti said to me, this is about a week ago and would have told you and others also, if the NC and Congress fall short, and they need us, we will give our help to them. Of course, there will be conditions, A, B, C, D, we will insist on, but yes, we will, exactly what the PDP person was saying.
What do you think is the number which will make the BJP make that effort? It's just about being the single largest party. If they are in that range, still, do you think, if just look at the number, 20 to 25, 27 to 32, if they cross 30, do you think that is when that effort
I
will
think
begin?
more like 35, and they were not very confident. They had at one time hoped that they'll get 34, 35, but then people said messed up in 4 or 5 constituencies. So max, what they were looking at was around 28, maybe going up to 30, but that also is optimistic.
There is a new update which has come for Haryana. The PMark poll has also come in, which suggests that 27 to 35 seats for the BJP and 51 to 61. At least the direction of all these polls is absolutely clear that the Congress is forming the next government in Haryana. They have the majority as far as the numbers are concerned. But interestingly, Maria Akhileji, the BJP is not doing as badly as many would have suggested or expected going into this election. Just take a look at the last, when the Hooda government was thrown out of the power, the Congress came down to 19, and primarily one of the biggest reason for that also was at that point of time, Chautala party was still relevant. But this time it seems it's a bipolar contest where the BJP, by all standards, is not doing as badly, though the Congress party is in a clear lead.
So it's holding on to its own. It would have wanted
BJP,
to be in above 40.
If these exit poll trends come as the results, the BJP has to thank parties like Aam Aadmi Party, INLD, and BSP, JJP, because they are the one BJP was relying upon for dividing the anti-BJP votes. So if it comes true, then BJP will be saying thank you to them.
But it will be interesting, Mr. Atri, if I may bring you in at this moment, sir. Is that sense there that that in certain, possibly the BJP is not doing as badly, because many numbers take them up to 32 as well. If you take the mean, everybody is putting them around 25. So that is not, after 10 years of being in power, it's not a very bad number where the Congress is not, the Congress is barely touching 60 in a few of these polls. So is it thanks to the division of the votes, primarily to INLD, BSP Alliance, JJP and Azad Party Alliance?
No, Ankitji, it's other way around. See, JJP, Aam Aadmi Party and INLD, they are not able to get anything which they were expecting or the BJP was expecting for that matter. That is point number one. Number two, whatever figures have been given, they are going to change a lot. Since the final polling figures are yet to come, as far as what I am able to get out of all this is a straight fight between Congress and BJP.
True.
And as per my experience or whatever I have seen in the past, as for these polling trends, poll of polls, and opinion polls also, recently we have a great study of what they are doing and how they are doing. But I personally feel, Ankitji, is that Congress party is going to get somewhere between 58 to 65 seats in this election, number one. Number two, BJP is not going to get more than 22 seats for the very simple reason. There is a science behind it. You have seen all the polling figures which were available till 5 in the evening. And what was there? in all the urban areas, which is the strongest belt for BJP in Haryana, particularly Faridabad, Gurgaon, Panipat, Karnal, big cities where they used to have their own hold. Ambala also. There they are having a very less number of polling. And in the rural areas, if you see, the polling has gone 72, 74%, which is the biggest worry going not only for the BJP, but for Delhi also. The kind of, anti-BJP, anti-incumbency wave which is going on in Haryana, it will be finalized only once the final numbers are coming.
Okay.
And I hope that this will be somewhere around 70% of the polling.
like I heard on the ground, a lot of people were saying that ये विदाई का चुनाव है, लाने से ज़्यादा जो जोश है लोगों में वो विदा करने का
ये तो विदाई का चुनाव अगर ये हो गया जो अंकित बोल रहे हैं सिद्धार्थ यादव
Bharya ji, will you give me 1 minute?
हाँ बोलिए हेमंत जी.
Haryana people always, they never vote for you. They basically fix me to get you in. That's how it is. Basically, there is no positive vote in Haryana traditionally. Basically, they keep on fixing the people who are in power and they get the other person from the side and get them full majority. They never give this kind of hung assemblies or person.
These are the first set of elections after the Lok Sabha polls.
Yeah.
And that is certainly very, very important and significant. Of course, the next set of elections will be Maharashtra and Jharkhand. For the BJP, if these numbers hold and actually exit polls convert into real results or directionally they are suggesting, that's not good news for the party.
Thank you, Maria, for having me on your show. I think we'll have to wait till the 8th to finalize what the final numbers have to come out. We did a very good performance in fighting the election in Haryana. The people of Haryana elected us for 2 consecutive terms. We delivered a very good governance model in Haryana. People liked it. People gave us all the support. We had a few questions to answer. The 10 years of rule, definitely some questions do pop up. We answered all such questions. And the people clearly compared the 2 regimes, one regime of the Hooda government and one regime of the BJP. And they were able to decipher that it was the BJP that has given a very clean, without bhrashtachar, without kharchi parchi model of governance, and that is what the people of Haryana like. When it comes down to numbers, I think I'll again say that we'll have to wait till the 8th, because we have seen in the past a lot of exit polls, especially in Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, a lot of states where the exit polls and all senior journalists and all people and all analysts who analyze the elections have been proven wrong by the mandate of the people. And I think that is going to be the case in Haryana as well. We are going to form a government with absolute majority.
And we saw a recent sample in the Lok Sabha elections as well. So like we say, take these exit polls with a caution, ladies and gentlemen. Don't put too much hopes with that. The real result is going to be on October 8th. But very quickly, let me go across at this moment to Mr. Pradeep Narwal, Congress candidate from Bhiwani Khera constituency in Haryana. I had gone to his constituency as well. Pradeep, thank you for speaking to us. You were being seen as one candidate very close to the Gandhi family, somebody who has, a lot of people had pinned a lot of hopes from. At this moment, elections are over, voting is done, campaign, no need to campaign. What's your sense after these numbers that you are seeing? Is there a sigh of relief? Are you expecting among these numbers, which are ranging from 48 to 61, your constituency is also going to be one of the winning constituencies?
Actually, while in the waiting room, I was looking at your numbers. So, see, these are all projected numbers, but I believe we are forming government in Haryana. I'm just outside a polling station. We are just done with the polling, just like 30, 40 minutes back. So we are forming the government in Haryana, and I'm very hopeful that we'll get a 2/3 majority. When it comes to the BJP and other parties, see, the regional party will be decimated in these elections. It will be Congress which will get the majority on its own. So I'm very hopeful for the performance and will form the government after 2 or 3 days.
We have put out NDTV poll of polls here, Pradeep, which is suggesting that the average is around 55 if these exit poll numbers actually hold. So one thing is becoming clear, that there is a significant gain for the Congress. In a bipolar contest, of course, if the Congress were to manage these numbers, it would mean that it's a landslide for you. But what do you think would have worked? Do you think it's anti-incumbency, as Hemant Attri was saying, that Haryana mein log हराने के लिए वोट देते हैं, जिताने के लिए नहीं?
See, there are two things. First, before me, there is a panelist who was saying that they had a clean government. Let me just correct him. Just 1 year back, HPSC member, the Public Service Commission member, the secretary, his own memory was secretary. He was caught red-handed having 1 crore rupee bribe. Okay, secondly, हमारे हरियाणा में कहावत हिंदी में बोले तो कि हमारे हरियाणा में घमंडी या घमंड तोड़ते हैं. So definitely BJP government ruled with utmost arrogance. So people are rejecting them, and now after rule of decade, after decade rule, they are going out of power, and there will be drastic decline in their seats.
Becomes the default option, or people have high hopes of the Congress party? And with that, I just want to very quickly ask you one question. Your election is being seen as a prestige election for Rahul and Priyanka Gandhi. You are being seen as their candidate as far as this election is concerned. Does that put extra pressure on a young Pradeep Narwal to prove himself on the electoral battle?
No, see, every candidate who's fighting election in Haryana, all the 90 candidates are Gandhi family candidates. They are Congress candidates. All are supported by Rahulji, Priyankaji. And every worker of the party has right on Rahulji, whether it's Rahulji or Priyankaji. So Congress High Command belongs to everyone. It's not a special case of Pradeep Narwal that he is close to Gandhi family or the Congress Hala Command or High Command. Everyone close to the Hala Command. So we are getting 60 seats. All these seats belongs to the Congress High Command only.
Thank you, Pradeep. All the best to you.
In the end, Congress High Command decides everything in the party.
All the best to you. We are hoping that on October 8th, we'll again have a word with you to try and get a sense of where Haryana goes from here. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Very quickly, going across to my colleague, Gurpreet Singh Cheena. Gurpreet Cheena, our colleague, is joining us. Gurpreet, thank you. You've been very patient. Now, with the voting percentage must be, getting more clearer. What's the sense that you are getting as far as the vote percentage is concerned? Is it a normal Haryana election which will throw a 65 to 70% kind of a vote, or are you expecting something like a 2014 election where Haryana went a little further from its normal mean?
Well, first of all, we have seen a huge excitement among the voters. We have seen the final vote turnout will be officially they are going to declare. But as of now, we have seen as Mr. Hooda has already very politically, very smartly, he has given answer of all the questions. Party High Command will take a decision who will be the Chief Minister. Same thing we have seen on the various polling stations also. The people are very silent this time, but we have seen most of the people, they were talking about the unemployment, they were talking about inflation, they were talking about farmer issues also. And this time, the way we have seen, the lot of statements are coming this time, we have seen the people of Haryana, they had come forward and they were trying to contest the election of candidates. So from the Lok Sabha, we have seen this trend was observed by the Congress leader, that there was a competition between BJP as well as the Congress, and the other regional party are not able to make that type of strong base in the Lok Sabha election. So now it's very clear the people of Haryana, they don't want to waste their vote, they don't want to do any experiment, and this time they wanted to give either to the BJP or to the Congress, but they wanted to clear-cut mandate in Haryana. So as we have travelled a lot of constituency in Haryana, where Ladwa, from where the Chief Minister of Haryana, he has been contesting from there. We have seen the people, they say, we are looking forward for the development, we are looking forward for the problem solution, and they are also trying to opt for national political party. So that's why we have seen very smartly Bhupinder Singh Hooda is giving answers, saying that the party high command will decide the chief ministerial candidate, but he has been working day and night to become the chief minister of Haryana. Back to studio.
One moment before I let you go, you have been speaking to the Hoodas regularly. For all that optics that he may be trying to put up, कि party high command decide करेगी, he must have got some hint from the party high command that he is the next man on the chair if they get the numbers.
Well, we have seen not only he has got a signal from the party high command. If we can see that all the seats and specifically for the candidates also, the party had put a whole weight behind Bhupinder Singh Hooda, and we all know around 70 to 75 candidates are from Hooda lobby. So that is clear-cut message from the party high command. We have seen when the differences had come between Kumari Shailja and Bhupinder Singh Hooda. Then after that, we have seen very smartly this type of answer was coming from Bhupinder Hooda, saying that Kumari Shailja is also aspirant and anybody can be aspirant from the party, but party high command is going to decide. But if we can see the political calculation within the Congress also, it seems Bhupinder Singh Hooda has already got a green signal from the party high command.
I think throughout this election, Mr. Hooda was hoping that the majority for the Congress remains closer to 50, as close as it to 50. There is no doubt that Mr. Hooda will get that chair, and if it goes over 60, then there possibly could be some adventure that Rahul Gandhi and the Congress leadership might in fact infuse in Haryana. Like you were asking, I don't know about the party leadership giving any signal to Mr. Hooda, but Mr. Hooda, by quickly doing these interviews today on the exit poll, has given a signal to the party high command.
It's my vote. It's my vote completely. You want to do...
Dr. Sunny Singh Ahluwalia is also with us, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Sir, thank you for being so patient. Let me ask you a straight question, sir. For the Aam Aadmi Party, till 6 months back, you were looking at putting up strong candidates across the state of Haryana. You have the government in Punjab, you have the government in Delhi. Despite two neighboring governments, at this moment, Aam Aadmi Party seems to be getting a 0 as far as the exit polls are concerned. Only one poll gives you, possibility of one seat, a fighting chance of one seat. Is this the biggest disappointment for Mr. Kejriwal after the Lok Sabha elections?
Thank you very much for giving me the time. Well, I'd like to tell you that Arvind Kejriwal is the leader who is known for transparency, who is known for good governance, education. So when you talk about Haryana, it is not by the that people are selecting the Congress. It is by default, as said by others also.
So, but that should be more worrying for you, isn't it? That the default option for the people is the Congress party and not the Aam Aadmi Party, which projects itself as a different model. Why I'm asking you that, sir? Just hold on. Why I'm asking that is because till few days, just 2 days before the nomination ended, the top leaders of your party were bargaining with the Congress party for 3 to 5 seats. People did not see you as a viable option because you were ready to play the smallest little brother with the Congress party in these elections.
No, what we were trying to do because of the India coalition, so it was our duty to have coalition with the Congress in Haryana as well. So we tried to have a coalition, though Haryana Congress also tried to do the same. But when they take the Aam Aadmi Party has a government in Punjab, has a government in Haryana, in Delhi, and looking at the neighboring state, the performance you can see of Aam Aadmi Party, the only party which comes up with the report card and says, if we have worked for the welfare of people, please vote for us. And if we haven't worked, don't vote for us. This was the line taken by the Arvind Kejriwal.
One thing is becoming clear, that Aam Aadmi Party isn't really relevant in the politics of Haryana. So that let me bring in Dr. Kartike Batra. Dr. Kartike Batra, the question is, INLD visibly out of Haryana politics if these numbers hold. JJP not really a factor. From, Dushyant Chautala becoming a deputy chief minister in 2019 to now a huge fall for them if these numbers hold. We are saying it again and again. And one thing is becoming clear, that the Hoodas are the central pillar of politics of the state.
Well, Maria, the last part, I think I'll throw some caution to the wind there. And the reason why I say that is that, of course, this will be a victory that the Congress party will be credited for. And because Mr. Hooda and family are at the helm of the party, they will get the credit for. But this is something that I'll go back to 20 minutes back on the show when this was being discussed, that in a lot of places, this was an anti-BJP vote and a lot of places it was a pro-Congress vote. In the Hooda belt, Rohtak, Sonipat, Jhajjar, this was definitely a pro-Congress, pro-Hooda vote.
True.
But in large parts of the state, this was an anti-BJP vote, where the credit is due to Mr. Hooda and his family and the party, is that for the last 5 odd years, when the government in Haryana was making error after error, they kept the party intact. The party leadership, despite all the squabble and the fights, etc., you knew there was one strong leader. And so when it came to finding an alternative, the voter thought that if we want to boot out the BJP, JJP is a non-starter. INLD may find some resurgence, but not enough to form the government. And all other parties probably are not in a position to form governments on their own. So let's go to the next viable option. And
Kartiki, does that
viable?
also mean that the Haryana is also now following the trend that we are seeing of the regional parties finding it very, very difficult with the resurgence or a bipolar contest between the national parties, BJP and the Congress? Remember, it was the INLD which gave the foothold to the BJP in Haryana, and today it's almost a reversal of that picture.
Ankit, let me give you 2-3 data points, and I think you'll be very fascinated by them. 2014, Congress plus BJP vote share was 54%. 2019, that swelled up to 65%. The state had moved from 3 polls to 2.5 polls. Why do I say 2.5? Because INLD disintegrated. JJP could pick up half its vote, but the rest of it got distributed. I think there is a very strong chance that this election will mark return to bipolarity, except that instead of what used to be INC and INLD in the pre-2014 era, will probably now become INC and BJP. Make no mistake that your independents and chota parties will have a stake, but that tripolarity that happened in 2014 and the 2.5 polarity that happened in 2019 will probably make for a cleaner bipolarity.
Hemant Attri,
yeah.
As someone who has been following the politics of the state so closely, if these numbers actually hold, which do you think will be closest to the results? Because you have been on the ground as well. So let me ask you that question, because there is Republic P-Mark, which is suggesting 51 to 61 as well, and Republic Bharat Matriz is suggesting 55 to 62. So all of them are giving in that range. Do you think it's going to be upwards of 55 for the Congress in Haryana?
Exactly, Mariaji. Exactly. See, Congress party is going to get somewhere between, 58 to 67 seats based on the number of votes polled today. Polling percentage is yet to come out. And in some areas, as I'm being told, in rural areas and a few booths in the cities also, voting queues are still there. People are still there in the queues. Final figure may come around, say, about 930 or something like that.
Okay.
And once that comes up and it crosses from 72%, then Congress can have 65 to 67 seats, which is their ever best in 2005, if you recollect.
Sir, it's going to be phenomenal if that actually happens, because we are, just hold on to your thoughts, sir. We have Dr. Nirmal Singh, the chairman of the BJP's Manifesto Committee and a former Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, joining us. Dr. Nirmal Singh, thank you so much for joining us. We have Akhilesh ji also here in the studio. So Akhilesh ji, pitch in. Why don't you begin with the question?
Nirmal ji, जो अभी तक ट्रेंड दिख रहे हैं, the trends are suggesting that the Congress-NC alliance is leading as per the exit poll trend and prediction is concerned. What will BJP's strategy if it comes to that situation?
I'll suggest that to wait for the results. We are sure that we are going to cross 35, and looking at the independents and others who subscribe to our approach towards Jammu and Kashmir, especially after 5th August 2019. Under those circumstances, we are going to form the government. We are very sure regarding that.
Okay, but Nirmal Singh ji, the question here is, what do you think is the BJP's best case scenario? Because as per these exit polls, most exit polls are suggesting that you would be below 30. And is the party expecting to make any effort at government formation or jod tod or some kind of calculation only and only if they emerge as the single largest party?
We shall be the single largest party, and we'll definitely touch 35, even we can cross there. Because in Jammu province, there are 33 seats, and we are going to win most of them, barring few. Even in Rajouri Ponch, which is the Muslim majority, same is the case with the Respite Doda, we are going to win a good number of seats there also. So far as Kathua, Samba, Udhampur, Riyasi, these are the areas where we are going to win 100% seats.
Okay.
And we'll definitely have some seats, and we are hoping some seats in Kashmir also.
Dr. Singh, may I ask you, sir?
Looking at the
may I just understand, taking these numbers, because that's the only data set we have today, on October 8th, they may hold, they may not hold, and we'll have a different conversation at that point of time. But just taking in aspect these numbers, does this mean that the Bharatiya Janata Party, of course, would be happy with the performance in the Jammu region, but despite the abrogation of Article 370 and what the BJP says has been done to completely change the picture of Kashmir, BJP is still very, very far to be a significant player as far as the Kashmir Valley is concerned, sir?
So far as the elections are concerned, there may be some, we may have some minor role during these elections. People won't have voted for us as per our expectations, but definitely people of Kashmir, they are looking towards us, they are listening to us, and they are having hope in us, because though they said they feel that considering the situation in Jammu and Kashmir during the last 30 years, about 50,000 dead bodies were there, and the Kashmiri young people, they were going their terrorist the way, and now the mothers of Kashmir, they are not losing their young sons, and there is peace and order. People, they feel that if we have to bring the Jammu and Kashmir out of this chaos which was there.
But Dr. Singh, just coming to the prediction given by the exit polls, Dr. Singh, just coming to the prediction given by the exit polls, do you think that the candidate selection by the BJP would have been better?
Actually, it was better. That's why we are hopeful of you can say winning a majority of the seats. And we are claiming that we are going to form the government. It was because of the selection of the candidates.
No, but senior leaders like you yourself, you were not given the tickets. Some other senior leaders were also denied tickets by the party.
I never said that.
And it led to revolt in many seats.
You have seen that we didn't say anything. Some of the people that did definitely did something, but most of the 95% cases, it was all right. Some of the people, they have expressed their you can say anger, but ultimately whole the party was won, and that's why we are going to win this election.
Neerja Chaudhary se bhi hai, because she has just returned from the valley, so she has some assessment of your battle there.
No, Dr. Singh, I would like to ask you, there are 5 nominations that the LG does to the Assembly, which will take the tally up to 95. Earlier it was said that these 5 would have voting rights. Now some confusion seems to have crept up. Will these nominated MLAs have voting rights or not?
I think that's there in the Reorganization Act.
So they will. What you're saying is they will have voting rights.
They definitely. They will have voting rights. And everything is explained in the Act itself.
So the majority figure goes up to 48, not 46.
So it is safe to assume, Dr. Singh, that the BJP tally starts from 5?
Pardon?
So it is safe to assume that the BJP's tally starts from 5?
I don't know.
All right.
It's there in the Act. And let the LG Sahab and those who will decide, they have to decide it.
This will be very,
because
very interesting.
Everything shall be within the parameters of the Constitution.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for speaking to us. This is going to be possibly one of the most fascinating factor come October 8th, when the numbers do in fact come, the real numbers, the exact poll comes out on October 8th when the results come in. These, as Akhilesh was saying, if it is +5, then there will be a lot of sleepless nights on the lower end of most of these polls for the Congress and the NC. It will be an interesting election.
And sleepless nights for reporters also, as we continue to dial our sources for information. But as is the tradition on NDTV and the shows, the last word to the woman on the panel. How are you looking at the numbers?
I think that these numbers look a little more accurate than in the Lok Sabha election, the exit polls.
So I think the real test is for the pollsters.
For those of us who've
Thank you so much to all our guests for joining us. We're completely out of time. It's time to say goodbye from me and Maria. Thank you so much for tuning into NDTV. Stay tuned. News and updates continue.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. All I want is a touch of love. Tap it here and swipe it there. Pound rewards, me everywhere. कहीं से भी करूँ collect, spend करूँ direct.
Download any single ID partner app, link your card and earn reward with top brand.
Get it free with single ID.
Feels like home.
Dulux Velvet Touch with True Color Technology feels like home.
Dulux, Dulux, Dulux. I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital, Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show.
Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
कि जिसकी सरकार सेंटर में हुई है उसी की सरकार प्रदेश में होती है।
एंटी इनकम्बेंसी को कैसे देख रहे हैं? इनकम्बेंसी नहीं है।
प्रो इनकम्बेंसी।
कांग्रेस आ रही है, भाजपा जा रही है।
Congress is going to form the government in Haryana with a big majority.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. I'm too busy, baby, making plans on how to get me one of them manly bands. All I want is a touch of love.
कलर भी मेरा ही फेवरेट मिला।
Dulux Velvet Touch with True Color Technology feels like home.
Dulux, Dulux, Dulux. I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital, Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its
Good evening and welcome. This is our big exit poll coverage right here on NDTV. The poll of polls is out and we've all the numbers pretty much. And the larger trend is a Congress plus sweep, both in Haryana as well as in Jammu and Kashmir. Of course, Jammu and Kashmir is slightly trickier, but as far as the regional parties are concerned, more or less a wipe out, no real factor as far as Haryana or Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. But what do these numbers really mean for both Jammu and Kashmir and Haryana? What do various agencies predict? We'll get you all the latest on that. First, a quick look at the headlines at the start. The poll of polls is out. The biggest newsmakers on NDTV. Huda on the exit poll says we expect a bigger sweep. Meanwhile, on the Chief Minister's face, he says the party will decide. A sweep for Congress plus in Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir as per the poll of polls. The exit polls predict a BJP upset in Haryana. Meanwhile, largely a bipolar contest. Smaller parties fail to make their mark in both Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir. In some other news, Indigo system outage. Flights have been impacted across India, but Indigo now says systems have partially been restored. Prime Minister Modi inaugurates Mumbai's first underground metro. The Aqua Line will have 10 stations, 9 trains with 96 daily trips. All right, let's break down some of the big numbers as far as the poll of polls is concerned. Looking at Haryana now specifically, well, as far as the NDTV poll of polls is concerned, the maximum number of seats that pollsters are giving to the BJP as far as the poll of polls is concerned is 33, which is below the average mark. The minimum is 21 and the average is 27. That's what the trend seems to be largely. As far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, the average is 27, maximum 30 and minimum 23 to the BJP. Now looking at the Congress plus, that really is the real story right now as far as the poll of polls is concerned. In Haryana, the Congress plus is getting an average of 54 seats, well beyond the magic number. Minimum 49 and maximum 59. So 49 to 54 is the range that pollsters seem to be suggesting as far as the Congress is concerned for Haryana. For Jammu and Kashmir, the Congress plus NC alliance, the maximum number of seats is 48 that the pollsters are predicting out of 90, average 42 and minimum 38. So very interesting there. A BJP upset is what is predicted as far as Haryana is concerned. A clear sweep is what these exit poll numbers seem to suggest. Though of course a lot of health warnings there, many caveats given the fact that these are just exit polls, and as we always put those health warnings out, pollsters have gotten Haryana particularly wrong in the past couple of years. Let's also look at some of the major agencies and what they seem to suggest. Access My India, if we look at Access My India for Jammu and Kashmir, so pretty much the same range for the BJP as well as the Congress. I think the most interesting in Haryana is Dhruv Research giving the 50 to 64 for Congress, 20 to 32 for the JP. Also Dainik Bhaskar pretty much in that range as well. We decode all of that with our experts. Let's quickly take a look at some of the reactions coming in. All the big newsmakers on NDTV. Let's see what Bhupinder Hooda in fact had to say on the exit polls and also the Chief Minister's face, given the fact that there's so much interest around it. Take a look.
Sir, the exit polls are suggesting at this point that the seat share that Congress would be getting is of 55 to 62. What do you have to say to that?
This is what I am telling you, exit poll are telling now. But in the morning you asked me the question, I told you that Congress is going to form government with comfortable majority, and it will form the government.
So the whole day that you roamed around today, went to these poll booths, what did you feel? How do you look back at today? The final day.
The response which we are getting from everywhere I got the report, there's wave in favor of Congress.
As per these exit polls, is he hopeful for a bigger number? Because the range that is being suggested by the pollsters is from 46 to even 60.
Yes, because BJP has proved to be non-performing government and most corrupt government. This government, BJP and JGP government, and the law and order situation is worse. Even our sports person, Pahalwan, wrestlers, they have been not been spared.
Right.
So this is the question.
Huda Saab, there is a list going on in social media. A lot of your Congress supporters are talking about they have already formed the cabinet and your day of swearing. So is Mr. Huda ready for his day of swearing, or is there still suspense even if the Congress party wins, sir?
8th result would be coming, MLAs would be elected, their opinion will be taken, then High Command will decide who will head the government. Then this is hypothetical questions you are asking me.
Okay. Tanishka, there is a question that is coming in from Neerja ma'am.
Okay.
Neerja ma'am से बोलिए एक सवाल पूछना चाह रही हैं.
Yes, one last question.
Mr. Huda, it seems pretty well clear now that the Congress is going to form the government. Kumari Shelja has also thrown her hat in the ring for chief ministership. What is your response to that?
This is democracy. Everybody has got right to win, and everybody should aspire. Otherwise, you can also aspire. Who says no to you? But MLAs would decide, High Command would decide. Okay?
Thank you so much. That was Bhupinder Singh Hooda speaking exclusively to NDTV.
देखिए, हरियाणा की जनता के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा खुशी का दिन है। एक तो आज सभी ने बढ़ चढ़कर मतदान में हिस्सा लिया है और जिस बदलाव की तरफ हरियाणा देख रहा था, लोगों ने वो बदलाव किया है। लोगों ने जो 10 साल झेला है उसका ही रिजल्ट है। लोगों ने जितनी तकलीफ़ें, जितना अत्याचार सहा है इन 10 सालों में, वो आज मतदान के रूप में उन्होंने अपना बदला लेने का ठाना था और वो सक्सेस हुआ है। और कांग्रेस पार्टी को मैं धन्यवाद देती हूँ, पूरा हरियाणा धन्यवाद देता है।
हरियाणा के लोगों ने जो पिछले 10 वर्षों में कार्यों को देखा है, हर वर्ग के लिए काम हुए हैं। हरियाणा को क्षेत्रवाद से मुक्ति दिलाई है, हरियाणा को परिवारवाद से मुक्ति दिलाई है, हरियाणा से जो भेदभाव होता था उससे मुक्ति दिलाने का काम हमारी सरकार ने 10 वर्षों में किया है। हमें पूर्ण विश्वास है कि हमने जो हरियाणा को एक नई गति विकास की देने का काम किया है, 8 अक्टूबर को भारतीय जनता पार्टी तीसरी बार बहुत बड़े मैंडेट के साथ आ रही है।
All right, let me introduce my panel this evening. Sandeep Shastri, National Coordinator of Lok Niti Network, is with us in studio. Akshat Goel, co-founder Dhruv Research. Of course, they've also come out with their exit polls. He's also with us in studio. Advocate Anmol Pawar, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, is with us as well. Vivek Chaudhary, spokesperson of the JJP, is joining us live too, and Charu Pragya of the BJP as well. Sandeep Shastri, a word from you quickly on in the larger picture that these poll of polls seems to give. A BJP upset in Haryana is a larger trend, certainly, as far as all the polls are concerned. Pretty much the same range that all the pollsters are giving. So, pretty much on expected lines, would you say?
In this very thin road between ifs and buts,
yes,
which we need to always keep in mind, if these exit poll numbers are right, then yes, clearly we are looking at a possible change of government in Haryana. And if that has to be explained in terms of the exit poll, I think 10 years of anti-incumbency after 10 years, and the fact that you have an alternative to cash in on that anti-incumbency. Because many times you have an anti-incumbency but nobody to cash in on that. Secondly,
an aggressive Congress, certainly.
And an aggressive Congress very keen to be back in power. Secondly, the social coalition that they have created, what was traditionally Jat versus non-Jat, now that has changed. And if these polls were to hold, it means that the Congress has consolidated its presence among the Jats and also won significant non-Jat votes. So that, I think, explains to a certain extent this verdict. And I also will be interested to see how the youth and the women have voted, because that would be crucial in defining and deciding.
Youngsters, aged less than 30. So I think that's an important point. And Akshat, come in on this, because you also seem to give more than 50 to the Congress. seats, 50 to 64 in fact. That's a large range there. But of course, keeping all those health warnings in mind, would you agree with what Sandeep ji said, that the BJP on the decline there, of course? What seemed to have worked for the Congress as far as these exit polls are concerned? That effective social engineering that Sandeep ji was talking about clearly seems to be one of the most important factors.
Yeah, so I truly agree with Sandeep sir. But first of all, to answer your question, if BJP is on decline in this state, see, as I was telling in the previous interview as well, that we have to also look at the vote shares. That is, if let's say BJP is able to get 37-38% vote share in the state, then we cannot say that the party has declined. The party has then grown itself from 36.5% vote, and none of the
even
pollsters.
the Lok Sabha, the vote share was pretty much,
pretty much even.
It's a two-party contest.
It's a two-party contest. Now, what has happened now, because of the collapse of the INLD or JJP parties, the Jat vote has shifted to Congress party, which has led to the sudden rise. So Congress was roughly 28% in the 2019 election, and Congress only once got 35%, and that too, I guess, long back in 2009 elections.
Right.
So it's been a long time that Congress had not got such a high vote share, and they are going to cross, as per the, I feel, as per the like most of the surveys, they are going to cross like 35% vote share. So it's not loss. It's not a loss for BJP, but maybe it's a massive gain for Congress.
Where is the Congress gaining very quickly?
So Congress is gaining across the entire state. Maybe first of all the Jat belt, because of the decline of the JJP and INLD parties. So last time BJP was able to win a lot many seats in that belt because of the split of both the Jat vote between Congress and JJP.
So Rohtak and
Rohtak, Sonipat,
Karnal,
Sirsa, Hisar, this is the like central Haryana belt, which we can say that Congress is likely to gain most, along with a few seats in the northern part. Maybe you can say the Ambala region, Ambala Lok Sabha, which borders Punjab, has a lot of Sikhs and SC population, not many Jats, but Sikhs.
So that's an interesting point you're making. Perhaps the Congress regaining some of its lost political ground. What have traditionally been Congress strongholds, but the BJP had managed to consolidate their base there. Charu Pragya, while of course, there are a lot of health warnings and we will continue to reiterate those, the pollsters have gotten it wrong, more wrong than right, I would say. But still, looking at the larger trend here, certainly in Haryana, not even a single pollster has given you more than 40 seats. Do you think that would be a matter of concern going forward? Even though we know that the pollsters have a tendency of getting Haryana wrong, but still, not even a single pollster giving you more than 38 seats.
So good evening and namaste. Let me reply to that with some numbers. Before 2014, BJP's vote share in Haryana was approximately 10%. In the elections in 2014, it rose to 33%. It continued to rise in 2019 to 36% odd. And in the last general elections, 2024 Lok Sabha elections, BJP's vote share was well above 45%. So if you look at that trend, and add to that some Lok Sabha result comparison between 2019 and 2024, and I will tell you that. In the Jat belt in Haryana, in 2019, BJP had 12 seats in 2019, and in the same area in 2024, BJP actually got 15 seats. If you look at these kind of numbers, one thing is very clear, that BJP is gaining ground in Haryana. Our vote share continues to go up. We have given a stable and good government to the people of Haryana. And lastly and most importantly, when we look at the numbers the exit polls give us, and I'm going to use the example of the last 5 state elections, they tend to get it wrong very often. Today, we are in a position where I can confidently say this. Now, there are 2 factors which are being discussed. One is that Jats are unhappy, but time and time again, election results have shown that this seems to be a political conversation of opposition parties. They said it after the farmers' agitation for Uttar Pradesh, but the results showed otherwise. They said it for Haryana, but 2024 Lok Sabha election results showed otherwise in the Jat-dominated areas. And the second conversation is that apart from this, the leadership that BJP has put forward has been very disciplined, very devoted, unlike the Congress camp, which is still washing its dirty linen in public.
So it's interesting, isn't it, Sandeep ji, that you have the BJP sort of doubting the credibility of the exit poll. Generally, we have seen that the BJP more often than not sort of believes what the exit polls have been saying. But these are also the first assembly elections after the surprise Lok Sabha mandate.
To be fair to Charu, I think Charu has been very reasonable